It's Question Sunday, the day when I answer real questions from one real person who actually asks me questions because she loves me. So I reblogged one of the question things on Tumblr, and my friend Aria is very cool, and she asked me all 102, and I got to number 11, and I went, wait, this could be a video! And now I'm making a video with answers because she might like my face. So the first question says, think of the last person who said I love you, and do you think they meant it? And answering it for Aria was much easier than answering it for anyone who might stumble across this video. But the last person who said I love you to me is my friend Lauren. She and I like writing novels. Her novels are exponentially better and more complete than mine. She has this character named Balin who no one else loves and who I think is amazing. And so I am the #1 fan of Balin, and someday when she publishes her books, I will run his fan club. And her characters in her head are all very, very present. And Balin sits eternally curled up in his corner because he is sad because life hates him and her novels are not kind to him. And he only ever comes out when I'm around because I love him and he loves me, and that's how me and Balin rock this thing. So we were talking about how sad my life would be if I did not have she and Balin to cheer me up all the time. And she said she loves me, platonically. And I completely believe her because she hangs out with my group of friends because I'm there, and my group of friends can be very interesting to get used to, and now she loves them as much as I do, and it's a great thing being a nerd with nerdy friends who love each other. Okay. The second question said, would you date an 18-year-old at the stage that you are right now? The age that you are right now. I read that wrong. Whatever. Anyways, considering that I have been dating an 18-year-old and I'm not right now, but I'm trying to convince him that understanding himself and dating me don't need to be mutually exclusive, I would date an 18-year-old. Fun fact, if we get back together, it'll only be for less than a week while he's 18, that is, and then he'll be 19, and I wouldn't date an 18-year-old at the age that I am now because I dated a 19-year-old. But theoretically, yes, I would date an 18-year-old at the age that I am now. When's the last time you were aggravated and happy at the same time? I would say yesterday, because I spent the entire Science Olympiad Awards ceremony going, oh my god, we might get to state, we're placing, and we got to state, and I was really excited, and then I went, oh, bad word, in front of an 8-year-old, because I'm not going to be on this side of the country when state occurs, and I can't go to state with my team. And that sucks. But I'm still really happy for my team because they're going to state. Would you ever smile at a stranger? I do this a lot. I don't know. People are fascinating and they have brains and they think things and they have emotions that make them feel things, and that is awesome. But sometimes, a lot of times, those emotions are degrees of sadness, which sucks. And I am a nerd fighter, which means that I like to increase world awesome and decrease world suck, and that means that I smile at people. Because stranger smiles are cool, because stranger smiles mean that people have a finite amount of life. And the 2 seconds it takes them to smile at you are 2 seconds they're never getting back. And if they choose to take those 2 seconds to smile at you, someone they don't know, someone they don't have any personal investment in, it's really cool, and that's something you should appreciate, and I don't mind giving 2 seconds of my life to random people, especially if they're sad, but even if they're happy, because I think people are cool, and I get a lot of happiness from people, and so, yes, I smile at random people a lot. Is there someone mad at you because you're dating or talking to the person that you're dating or talking to? My cousin would be really pissed off at me if she knew that I am on a break with / talking to my pubbin, because she told me that if I take him back, she'd drive down here and slap me because I was making a good decision with my life and I needed to not be weak. And I decided that none of that mattered because I really want him in my life. And I didn't like not being with him. So, there's that, and I've decided that it's worth it. Yeah. Have you heard a song today that reminds you of someone? I listened to the Mountain Goats. I think the song was called This Year, because John Green is always like, the Mountain Goats, and he said that is not a bias, and that people who don't love the Mountain Goats are just wrong, and I was like, okay, no, but I hadn't heard the Mountain Goats, or hadn't known that I'd heard the Mountain Goats, and so I typed in the Mountain Goats, and I pulled up this song, and I went, because they're amazing. So, oh, fun fact, you might hear music in the background. It's because my mom is horribly sick and lying on the couch in a pile of misery, and she said, and I quote, "The pitter-patter reminds me that you are alive." And I was like, I will shut the door, but leave my music on so that you know I'm alive, so there's music on. Oh, also, today I heard the song To Build a Home, and that reminds me of Destiel because of this really great Dean and Castiel from season 5 audio clip that someone made that has To Build a Home in the background. So, what are you wearing right now? When I answered this initially, I was wearing my black sweatpants with a hole in the side and my Hawkeye t-shirt and these socks that I am still wearing. But then I decided to make a video and I was like, maybe I should change out of the stuff that I slept in. And so I took a shower and I put on my Bruce Banner t-shirt. There you are. And my alien pants and put these back on because I like them. And now that's what I'm wearing. And I didn't really do my hair because I never really do my hair. And you can see that I still have test hair. There we are. Test hair going on because when I take tests, I generally go like this. And then I get stressed out. And the more stressed I get, the more I go like this. And I kind of reach in. And normally my hair is parted in the middle. But I reach in and grab chunks and drag them over. And just keep messing with my hair while I test. And I took 3 tests yesterday. Science Olympiad, so test hair. It's actually not as bad as it was yesterday. It was really bad yesterday. Oh, another fun fact, this t-shirt, no one knows what it is. And so I wear it all the time because it's my favorite t-shirt. And people go, "What is your t-shirt? It looks kind of sad." And I'm just like, "Really? You don't get what's going on here?" And they're like, "No, what's your t-shirt?" And I go, "Bruce Banner." And they just kind of stare at me and go, "No." And like, it's Bruce Banner, the Hulk. It's an Art Nouveau t-shirt that someone made because they're really talented and cool. It symbolizes how he's trapped by this thing that has happened in his life, and they just stare at me. And then I was feeling really sad because this has happened to me like 10 times in one day, and I sat down in my psych class and I was like, and I turned to my friend Chase and I said, "What do you think this t-shirt is?" before I put my sweatshirt on. And he stared at it for like 2 seconds and went, "The Hulk." And I tackled him in a hug. Okay. How often do you listen to music? Almost constantly when possible. Less lately, but almost constantly when possible. I really like music. I've just been watching a lot of YouTube, which means that there's less music going on in my life, but whenever I'm not on YouTube, there is music in my life, unless I'm in class. And even then, there's music in my head. Do you wear jeans or sweats more? Jeans, but just barely, because I almost exclusively wear sweats to sleep, except when I'm wearing my cool alien pants or other cool PJ pants, or in the summer because the summer is hot and then I wear shorts. But I almost always wear jeans, because I haven't gotten used to wearing dresses yet. And people tend to freak out when I dress differently, so. Do you think your life will change dramatically before 2012? Well, it's 2013, so no. Are you a social or antisocial person? Do we have to be a social or antisocial person all the time? Because I would classify myself as a social person because I go to school and I make friends and I like talking to people in classes and I like having people around me, and yet I tend to get very overwhelmed and withdraw because I'm a pretty drastic introvert and I just need time alone. And there are a couple exceptions to my introvert, and I just call them the exceptions to my introversion really because I can be around them all the time and not feel exhausted because of their presence. But that's like my parents and my puffin. Yeah, so that's only a couple of people. I'm both, depending on where I'm at and how exhausted I am and all of everything. I really like people. I just also need time to not have people bearing down on me from all sides. Okay. Have you ever kissed someone whose name begins with the letter A? Yes, my first kiss. His name was Umar. What about R? No? I mean, I cheat kiss people sometimes, so there's a chance that I have cheat kissed someone whose name began with an R, but it's not coming to mind. Can you drive a stick shift? No. I don't even like driving So I think I need to perfect the driving aspect of that before I try to add something else in. Do you care if people talk badly about you? I think we all care if people talk badly about us. One sec. Sorry, my puffin IM'd me, and I put in the smile for people who doubt that I'm making the right choice with my life, because he just makes me really happy, and I don't talk to him much, and I like having him in my life still. I'm very grateful for that, so every time he talks to me, I'm just like, I need to talk to him, so yes. He's still talking to me. I'm gonna go again first. So anyways, on the initial topic, do I care if people talk bad about me? I think people always care if people talk bad about us, because we as people want to be liked. It feels good to know that people like you for who you are, and when people hate you for who you are, you're just like, wow, I must be doing something wrong. But there are just people that we're naturally not as compatible with, and that's okay. People can be who they are as long as they're not hurting other people. I think people talking badly about other people is kind of stupid. I try to not, and of course I fail because I'm a person, but I'm trying. High school makes these things difficult, and that is not an excuse. Yes, I care if people talk badly about me. I try not to care as much. I try not to talk badly about people as much, and every time someone talks badly about me, it's a reminder to work harder and be better at that. So yes, but it's okay. Are you going out of town soon? Yes. Science Olympiad. I'm going out of town around the 10th of April, which I guess soon is relative for me. It feels really soon, because I need to go see 2 colleges back east that have let me in, and I'm hoping I like them because they're offering me cool scholarships and they seem like great places and they have really nice people, and I'm missing my last chance at Science Olympiad to see them, so it'd be cool if they were cool. Yeah. When was the last time you cried? I cried on Friday. Yeah, I cried on Friday. Have you ever told someone you loved them? Yes, frequently. I tell a lot of people that I love them because it's good to feel loved, and I want the people that I love to know so that they don't ever have to wonder, and so they don't ever have to feel alone and unloved and unlikable and worthy and bad things. People can feel really bad things, and sometimes someone saying I love you just makes it better, and sometimes knowing people love you just makes it better, and it's okay to be sad, but it's nice to be happy. It's nice to be loved. If you could change your eye color, would you? Probably not. I really like my eyes. For a long time people were like, your eyes are your best quality, and growing up everyone was always like, oh, she has such pretty eyes. And I was like, I want different eyes so that people will just stop saying that. But I do have really pretty eyes, and I like my eyes, and they're pretty cool, so. Is there a boy who you would do absolutely everything for? I don't think there's anyone I would do absolutely everything for. I think absolutely everything is too much. Like, I wouldn't kill an innocent person for someone, things like that. But there's a boy who I would do a lot for. Hint, hint. So, there's a lot of people I'd do a lot for. He just kind of tops out that list. Name something you dislike about the day you're having. I'm having a pretty decent day. My mom is pretty sick, and that makes me kind of sad because she works hard for me, and she spent all of yesterday selling stuff at a snack bar, even though she kind of hates that sort of thing. Like, she loves organizing, so she had a great time organizing it, I think. Does it every year. But she basically does the whole volunteering thing at Science Olympiad because it's something that has been very important to me for 6 years, and she wanted to be a part of that, and she wanted to help it continue to grow like it's grown. Like, okay, first year we had about 2 teams total when I was in 7th grade. Second year we had 1 junior high, my school's a junior high and high school combined, so we had 1 junior high team and 1 high school team, and you can have 15 people to a team. High school team had 6 people, 2 of whom joined like the last month, one of whom is my puffin. It's part of the reason why we became friends and later dated for a large chunk of my history. Science Olympiad is really important in my life. And the junior high team had like 8 to 10 people, and they were almost all people who I grabbed and went, you need to come join this thing. And then it exploded, and we ended up getting 2 teams for high school and like 1 or 2 teams for Granite Ridge, and it just grew and grew and grew. And this year we had 7 total teams. That's so many people. There were 3 junior high teams and 4 high school teams, and even our D team placed, and even all the Granite Ridge teams placed and stuff, and it was amazing. It was beautiful. So what do I dislike about the day that I'm having? That my mom is sick, because she has done a lot to help a thing that I love grow, even when I stopped loving it as much. And she's great. My mom is great. I love my mom. So I kind of wish she wasn't sick. One sec. So my puffin and I, it's really hard for me not to think of him as my boyfriend, because I thought of him as my boyfriend and called him my boyfriend for so long, so now he's my puffin. He's not mine, for the record. We're on a break and he is his own, whoever he wants to be, but it's the hybrid of my brain now, so he's my puffin. Just in title, not in any actuality. Anyways, so he and I were having this interesting conversation about my ex-girlfriend, Madeline, who was formerly Matt when we were dating, and I call her my ex-girlfriend in respect to the fact that she gender identifies as a girl, and it wasn't a great surprise that she gender identified as a girl. When we were dating, she called herself Matt, but now she calls herself Madeline. That's fine with me. I'm not very good about gender politics because I tend to have more trouble just understanding things, not accepting things, but understanding things that I don't personally feel. And I am physically a girl and have always gender identified as a girl. I'm a girl. I'll always be a girl, I think. That's just who I am, so it's harder for me to understand the politics of all of this and how it feels, but I know that Madeline is much happier as a girl, and I'm totally fine with being pansexual, and it doesn't bother me that she's a girl and we once dated, and I don't feel the need to assert the fact that when we were dating I thought I was in a heterosexual relationship. It's not a big deal. His question was largely would I still have dated, or part of the question that came up at least was would I still have dated her. And because I didn't identify as bisexual at the time, I identified as heterosexual because I was very set in my heterosexuality, but that was largely not because of how I felt, but because of how I knew the world perceived me. And I think I would have anyways. I dated her largely on the feelings centered around when we first met, and I really, really liked her. That was a really magical couple of hours. I think I would have probably dated her based on that anyways. She's a great person. But I don't know for sure, and I don't know what I'm supposed to call her. He said for posterity, my ex-boyfriend, but she's not. Like, I don't think of her as my ex-boyfriend now. I think of her as my ex-girlfriend. I don't know. I don't know what she wants me to think of her as either. It all depends. So, I mean, whatever she wants me to think of her as, I will certainly try. Moving on with questions. Is it cute when guys kiss you on your forehead? It's cute when people kiss people on the forehead, I guess. I'm a very emotive, physically affectionate person, so I hug everyone, and I cling, and I glomp, and I have my freshman, she declared me her senior, and my freshman is Katie, and she hugs me all the time, like super awesome hugs, and I love her. And I mean, I kiss people on the cheek sometimes, or on the shoulder, just absently, because I love them, and it's easy. So I guess it'd be cute if guys kissed me on the forehead more often than they do. I don't know, the only person who really kisses me on the forehead, I think, is Puffin, but I'd rather he just kissed me, so I don't care. Any kisses are welcome from him. Other guys, I think Chris might have once or twice when I was sad and he wanted to really let me know that he is there for me. And I mean, that's nice. It's never really cute. It's morely in high emotional times, and it's nice. It feels comforting. I don't know. I guess, yeah. It's not uncute when guys kiss me on the forehead. Are you dating the last person you talked to? Well, I am currently talking to Puffin, crazily enough, and you all, of course. Mainly Arya. I'm on a break with him. It makes me feel better to just think of it like we're still dating even though we're not. So, but no, I'm not dating the last person I talked to. So that's sad. I want to be dating. What are you sitting on right now? I am sitting on, look, I can show you, this chair. This chair that we bought a really long time ago and that I like never used before now. Sorry, that video froze for a really long time, I think. It's not the best video recording software. I'm not good with software in general. Sorry. Anyways, so red chair hasn't ever been used until now. It's great. It's a nice chair. Sorry I'm messing with my hair. It bugs me. Does anyone regularly, other than your family, tell you that they love you? Yes. My friends tend to take the same view as me, or are used to me telling them that I love them and repeat it a lot. A lot of people tell me they love me, and it feels good. It doesn't feel less special just because they say it a lot. It feels really nice. I like being told that I am loved, and I like telling people that I love them. Have you ever wanted someone you couldn't have? Yes. So I told him. I used my words. And now it's a question of whether or not I can have him. So I'm gonna say John Green is a pretty smart guy. Use your words. I think I've probably wanted people I couldn't have before too. I don't know. Right now I really only care about Puffin, so I don't know. It's a normal feeling. Use your words. Who was the last person you talked to before you went to bed last night? Lauren. Told you about the I love you conversation. It was a good conversation to fall asleep to. She's a great person in my life. Do you get a lot of colds? I don't know, I kind of have an eternally stuffy nose because of my allergies, which are really bad. So I don't even think I really notice when I have a cold. I don't think I get a lot of colds. It's possible. I think I had more trouble with the flu and sinus infections when I was little. And I haven't gotten either of those for a couple years, fingers crossed. What is the shirt you are wearing from? Okay, so you've seen my shirt. It's really cool. I think I got it on Redbubble. I did get it on Redbubble. I just typed in Bruce Banner and looked at all the shirts, and I was like, that shirt I wanted. So, it's my favorite shirt. Does anyone hate you? I would hope no one hates me. Hate's a kind of strong emotion. I think a couple people might really severely dislike me. Not because of me, but because of themselves and what they project onto me that isn't true. Which I struggled with for a while because that didn't seem very fair. It's possible people hate me. I would hope they don't. But if they do, I'm sorry. Do you have any empty alcohol bottles hidden somewhere in your room? No, I don't really drink. I mean, I've had sips and some alcohol before, especially when I went to France and we went wine tasting, but I'm not a drinking type person. I've never been drunk. I don't even think I've ever really been buzzed. My dad thinks I'm absurd when I try to say that, oh, wine made me speak French better, but like I really think it did lower my inhibitions just enough to make me less socially conscious, but not enough to really do anything. I'm not a drinker. Do you like watching scary movies? My mom doesn't let me watch scary movies, and I know that sounds absurd because I'm 17, but it's like, my mom didn't let me watch scary movies for so much of my life that when I finally watched them and they scared the shit out of me, I was like, why do I want to watch these movies that scare the shit out of me? And now I just go, my mom doesn't let me watch scary movies because I'm not really a scary movies person at all. No, I don't like watching scary movies all that much. Do you want your tongue pierced? No. Nothing against people with tongue piercings, that just la. If you had to delete one year of your life completely, which would it be? Ooh, that's tough. I mean, some of the most painful years of my life have been the most important to who I've become as a person, and I kind of like who I've become as a person. Like, the first one that comes to mind is 3rd grade, because that was the first time when I ever wanted to die, because life hurt that much. There was a person who just ran by my window. Anyways, but I wouldn't delete that year. That was a really formative year. If you had to delete a year, the imaginary one. None of them. No. Maybe 8th grade. That was sort of the in-between transition-y year. A lot hurt that year. Chris dated a girl who slaughtered his heart. I dated Madeline and slaughtered her heart. I had a lot of really horrible feelings, but that was when I got into Supernatural. No, can't delete that year. Maybe the last half of 7th grade and the first half of 8th grade. Swipe out the entirety of my first relationship, but that's okay. He wasn't that important. 6th grade. Let's go with 6th grade. That was a pretty bad year. A lot of things happened that year that were important, but it's okay. They weren't that important. I could erase. Can I like pick certain days to erase and make them add up to a year? Let's do that. I would pick certain days to erase that add up to a year. Sorry, that was a really hard question to answer. Did you have a dream last night? I did. I had this like crazily complex dream last night, and people kept changing because people change in my dreams a lot, and it just keeps going. And like people haven't changed. My dreams don't make a ton of sense except for in my brain. My brain is kind of like that. I know that there was a part where I was trying to convince Pupin to date me, and it was the end of the break, and he was like, "I can't be with you," and I was like, "Please be with me." What else happened? There was a lot in the dream. It was a dream. A lot of things happened. I'm sorry. I don't. There's just a lot of stuff. It didn't make much sense. When was the last time you told someone you loved them? Wow, this really likes to go on about love. I think I told Mom that I loved her this morning. Yeah, that's probably it. Might have told Ari I loved her this morning. I don't know. I tell people I love them so much, it doesn't feel weird. Like, I look over at my mom all the time and just go, "I love you, Mommy," and she's like, "I love you too." And then 2 seconds later I go, "I love you, Mommy," and she's like, "I still love you too." And I'm just like, "I'm sorry, I was feeling it." Do you believe you'll be married in 5 years? No. I'll be in college in 5 years, and my parents will pay for my college so long as I'm not married, and that's a pretty sweet deal. Nothing against living with someone or being engaged to someone, just married. I can hold off on that. Do you think someone has feelings for you? I think Pavin still has some pretty deep feelings for me. I'm hoping he decides that he wants those feelings and that he wants to keep building a future with me. I think a lot of people have feelings, just any feelings at all about me. I think most people who know me in any capacity have some feeling or other about me. But if you're talking about romantic feelings, Pavin. Do you think someone is thinking about you right now? I don't know. I'm thinking about me right now. Does that count? Did you have a good day yesterday? I had a great day yesterday. There were definitely ups and downs, but it was worth it. It was a pretty good day, yeah. I had a great day yesterday. There's a whole blog post on the blog that I'm putting this video on. It's gonna be my 2013 post. Sorry, I touched my nose when I'm thinking. I do this in class a lot, and teachers are just kind of like, "Okay, that girl's weird." So yeah, I did a blog post on it, and actually a girl who has a blog who was at the same competition but goes to a different school than me sent me an ask, and it was sweet. I was happy that someone found me. I mean, her school is kind of my rival school, and we hate them and want them to burn. But no, I helped them out a couple years ago in a competition. I'm not as big on the whole rivalries thing. I mean, I want to win, but I don't necessarily want everyone else to lose. I'm not that kind of competitive. I mean, unless I hate them, but I don't even know this girl, and she was nice to me, so I like her. I hope she does really well at state. I hope my team does well at state first, but I hope she does well too. It's not mutually exclusive. Think back 2 months ago. Were you in a relationship? I can think back 10 days ago and say, yeah, I was in a relationship. 2 months ago, I was in a relationship. In the next 48 hours, will you hang out with a girl? Well, tomorrow there's school. So yeah. A good half of my friends' estimate are girls. So there's a pretty steep chance I'll hang out with a girl. Has anyone told you they don't want to ever lose you? Yes. The boy who is now deciding whether or not he wants to lose me. Also, other people. What's the best part about school? A lot of things. Listening to Madame talk. She's one of my life inspirations. I really want to grow up and be half as awesome as she is and half as awesome of a teacher as she is. So just being in her class and listening to all of her snarky side comments that I get to know because I'm the tutor, it's great. Psych class, also great. Great teacher. Great teachers make great school. The great teachers are the best part of school. I also really like lit class. My lit teacher's really funny, and I'm starting to really enjoy reading classic literature for the first time in my life. It's really revolutionary for me, and he said that I'm one of 3 people who consistently writes the best essays And that means a lot to me because I work really hard on writing essays. Sorry, I've shrunk down in that frame a lot. Let's fix that. There we go. Oh, it looks so much better now. Isn't that great? Do you have any pictures on your Facebook? Yes, I actually just added an album for the first time ever last night because I wanted to change my profile picture to this really cute picture of me and Sammy being dorky. Yeah. Do you ever pass notes to your friends in school? Sometimes me and Layla do in math because every once in a while our stats teacher just stares at us and goes, really? Really, girls? Most of the time he doesn't, but sometimes he does, and we feel bad. So sometimes we just start writing notes if we have a lot to say. Every once in a while Chase and I write high on each other's papers. He generally starts it, that's in psych. No, sometimes. I'm not really a notes passy person. My friends generally initiate it, and I just continue because they're doing it, but... Do you replay things that have happened in your head? Yes. A lot. Not as much as some people do, but I think I do it a lot. I'm me. I don't know how many times people replay stuff in their heads, so I can't really compare. Yeah, I do. Were you single over the last summer? No, I was not. I haven't been single over a summer since the summer before 9th grade. So, actually, I haven't been single over a summer since the summer after 7th grade, because I was still technically with Madeline. Summer before 9th grade, I just didn't think of that because I was trying to figure out how to break up with her without crushing her heart. I am sorry, Madeline. I really love you as a person. Quite a lot. I am so sorry. Is your life anything like it was 2 years ago? Yes, in some respects, and no in a lot of others. I've grown and changed a lot in those 2 years, and they've been 2 really great years. I'm really happy with the changes that I've been through in these 2 years. 2 years ago, I don't think I had Tumblr, which is crazy to even imagine, which means I didn't have Arya and Kat and Sydney, Laura, and just so many people. I always hate listing names because I leave them out. But no, I didn't have all these amazing things that I have now. I didn't have half the music I have now. I don't know if I had my Doctor Who obsession, but I definitely did not have that Dalek thing that makes me so freaking happy. I didn't have these alien pants. I didn't have an obsession with the Avengers. It's been a good couple of years, so I'm still largely the same and yet more and better and different. Yeah, I don't know. Life's changed. The more things change, the more they stay the same. To quote a country song. What are you supposed to be doing right now? My homework. And this. Probably my homework more, though. Do you hate the last guy you had a conversation with? No, quite the opposite. I love him very much. So, I don't tend to talk to people I hate. I don't tend to hate a lot of people. There's words that I got out of my mouth. Are you nice to everyone? I try to be. I am not, but I try to be. I'm actually meaner to my friends because there's a mean streak inside me that just has to get out, and so I try to let it out on my friends because they know that I'm not being mean to them because I hate them, but that I'm being mean to them because I love them and trust them with the little bits of meanness that I let out. I don't know. I'm the meanest to the people that I love proportionally. Like, I have super mean moments to Puffin, and he's just like, why do you hate me? And I'm like, I'm sorry, I love you. I try. I really do try. I also just don't have the energy to be nice to everyone all the time, and so it's just like I have to withdraw and just not people. But I try. Have you ever liked someone you didn't expect to? Yes. But I tend to like my friends. I mean, if you're saying like just as a person, I'm generally surprised when I like anyone. Right now, I'm in this weird pseudo-friendship with this guy named Hargbear, who seems to enjoy the fact that I don't know how to deal with him. But he and I actually had a conversation like real human beings when no one else was around because he still has to be an ass when other people are around, which is why I call it a pseudo-friendship. But he seems to be attempting a friendship with me, or he's just attempting to fuck with my brain. That's a possibility. Sorry, there's a bad word in this video. But yeah, I'm in this weird pseudo-friendship with him, and I really liked the conversation that we had, and I never ever expected to be friends with Hargbear because a couple years ago I was like, you watch Supernatural, I'm a giant Supernatural fan, and I made him think that I was insane, and I was like, there's one person who's never gonna want to speak to me ever again. And he did, and I was like, okay. Well, actually, I was like, what's going on with my life? I don't understand the world. But, yeah. Do you think you can last in a relationship for 6 months and not cheat? Yes, I have done it. repeatedly. It's twice repeatedly. Well, I've done it. So yes, I can. Are you good at hiding your feelings? I think I used to be. I don't know if I am anymore. I try to not hide my feelings now. I think I am. From people who don't know me as well. I mean, most people who know me really well can tell when I'm feeling certain things, and I actually get really disappointed when people who know me really well can't tell my feelings. But most of them can. I don't know. I think I'm pretty decent at it if they don't know me super well, and if I'm actually trying to hide my feelings. Do you think you like someone? I know I like someone. I know I like a lot of people, but I know that I romantically like one specific person, so yes. Have you ever kissed someone whose name starts with a J? Mwah! No, I've done it. Unless you meant monogamous face licked someone, and then the answer's no. Unless you count the fact that I do a lot, and then yes. I've kissed myself, so there's that. Do you prefer to be friends with girls or boys? I definitely used to prefer to be friends with boys. I've learned that girls can be massively important for a girl to have as friends. There's definite bonuses to both. I just like people. I like having very varied groups of friends. Boys are a little bit frustrating to me again lately, so I would say girls right now, but girls are always frustrating to me, so I like friends. The gender doesn't really matter to me. Has any one of your friends ever seen you cry? 2 of them saw me cry on Friday. Yes, my friends have seen me cry. Most of my best friends have seen me cry at least once, but possibly multiple times. I try not to cry in front of people, but people tends to be not my best friends. My best friends are just the people that don't even count as people anymore because they're family, and family is just this entity of closeness that surrounds me. My brain might not make sense to other people. Do you hate anyone? Like I said, I try not to. So, possibly, but probably not. How's your heart? My heart has been through a pretty interesting week. I mean, did you know that your heart can physically, like, I would wake up this week and just feel like my entire body was vibrating, and that was my heartbeat because I was in so much emotional pain. So my heart's had a pretty shit week emotionally and physically. I was pretty afraid I was gonna give myself an early heart attack at some points. I was just like, breathe, Jenny, breathe, don't die over this. But right now it's doing better. It's not perfectly fine, but like I said, it makes me happier to just pretend we're still dating, so I'm just pretending we're still dating while I wait. But it's been a really interesting week for me. It's been a really important week for me. I think this was definitely something that I probably needed in my life to really realize what's important. You know how they say that you never know what you have until you've lost it? I always thought that was stupid, and then I didn't know what I had until I lost it, and I was like, please come back. Please come back. Is there something that happened in your past that you hate talking about? Why would I talk about it? I don't know, probably. People tend to ask me the things that I hate talking about until I get to where I'm used to talking about them. Like, people have been asking me about this breakup all week, and so I've been talking about it all week, and now I can't stop talking about it. This pattern. There are so many people walking by outside my window right now, it's weird. Who is probably talking a load of crap about you right now? Well, thanks. Hopefully no one. Have you ever cried over a guy? So many times in the past week. Yes. Yes, I have. Are your toenails painted pink? No, they are painted silver. Pulling off the socks so you can see. Sparkle silver. Putting the sock back on. This chair feels weird on my tailbone. Okay. No, they're not painted pink. They're painted silver with sparklies left over from Formal. Formal was awesome. There's, on my personal blog that I'm putting this up on, there's a post about that too. And if you go to pictures of me, there's pictures of me and then the post, so you can find it pretty quick there. It was late January, so. Will your next kiss be a mistake? I'm hoping not. Lord knows. Let's go with no. Optimism for the win. Girls love it when boyfriends... Oh my god, what? Girls love it when boyfriends cry? No, I hate it when my boyfriend... Not boyfriend, when my pubbin cries. I hate it when he cries, and I hate making him cry. And so it's just sort of one of those things where I just try to hold him and hope that he won't hurt as much and will feel better. And I wish he never felt so sad that he would have to cry because I love him. So, I mean, if girls hate it when, if girls, sorry, not hate, if girls love it when their boyfriends cry or when boyfriends in general cry, then they're not doing the relationship thing right, in my opinion. Have your pants ever fallen down in public? Probably. I don't really want to go there, so. Who was the last person you were on the phone with? Pubbin. Yeah. I was like, we're going to state. And he was like, okay. And I was like, you said that we couldn't do it. And he was like, so you're trying to rub it in my face? And I was like, no, I'm just happy because I believed you. But we're going to state. And he was like, I thought you didn't want to go to state. And I was like, well, I do. So can you be excited for me? And he was like, sure. Wasn't the best phone conversation as phone conversations go, but there's that. How do you look right now? Well, you can see how I look right now, so it's a lazy day, if that tells you anything. I think I still look kind of cute. I think I kind of eternally have some shred of cuteness, but trust me, there are days when I look much better than this. There are days when I look worse too. Do you have someone you can be your complete self around? I think so. Sorry, I really did think about it. I try to put my complete self around my mom. It doesn't always work because sometimes she's in moods and I don't want to make them worse, and I try to be more delicate. But I try to be my complete self around Pubbin. Sometimes I say stupid things that hurt people though, and they're not meant to hurt people, but it just slips out. I don't think of the impact it'll have, and I don't realize that not all people think the way I think. And so I'm not always my complete self around him just because I'm trying not to hurt him without meaning to, but he's one of them. Arya. I am actually probably almost always my complete self around Arya. Arya and I have this thing where we say things sometimes that just like would normally hurt a person, but don't because we love each other so much just the way we are. So I know I would also say Kat, but I didn't want to tell Kat about my relationship problems because she shipped us, and I know that logically she loves me, but it was like I didn't want to make her sad because I was sad. So I was almost my complete self around her, but not completely. And then, out of the blue, seemingly in her world, she got the message from me. Pubbin and I broke up, and she was just like, I'm sorry, I love you. And I was like, yeah. Can you commit to one person? Yes. I'm a very lovey person, so it doesn't seem like I can to most people, but yes, I can. I can be a monogamous face-looking partner. Do you have someone of the opposite sex you can tell everything to? I have a couple people of the opposite sex I can tell most things to. I tell everything to a group of people, but I don't think I tell everything to one person. But I try pretty hard with Pubbin. But sometimes I feel like I am just throwing word vomit at him. Like, if he was a wall and my words were word vomit, there would be no wall left. He would be like so splattered with vomit that vomit would have become the outer layer of his wall. And I'm like, maybe I should stop word vomiting on this wall. Or, this person that I love. So, I mean, he's never told me to stop. He says I should keep going, but I tend to feel like I'm annoying, and it doesn't really matter if people say you're annoying, you still feel annoying, so. Have you ever felt replaced? Yes. It sucks. Did you wake up cranky? I did not today. A couple days I have, but not today. Are you a jealous person? I try not to be. You hear that a lot from me. I try really hard to be better than I am, and I hear from a lot of people that I succeed at that, so that's a good thing. I try not to be jealous. I get jealous sometimes. I'm the jealous friend who, like, don't become friends with my friend because they're my friend, but also become friends with my friend because my friend is really cool and deserves love. With Pubbin right now, there's this thing where, like, we're on a break, and I said, oh, it's like a Rachel Ross break, and he was like, no, because that would mean I could have sex with someone, and then you'd be like, no. And I was, like, really silent for a minute, and he was like, is that a thing? And I was like, if yes, I don't want him to feel trapped, is the thing. And I want to get back together with him, but I don't want him to get back together with me and then feel like he didn't have any other choice. I don't want him to feel limited. I want him to know that he wants me. And I felt trapped before because I've been dating for so long that it was just like that was the thing to do. And I was like, do I really love you? And then I lost him and I was like, fuck, I really love you. But I don't want him to go through that. It's a difficult thing to know you love someone, but then also don't know if you really love them, and I don't want him to be trapped. I want him to get what he wants. I love him enough to want that, but I also want him. So he was like, there's this girl who likes me, and I was like, fuck, and I started crying because I was afraid. And so it's like, if he had liked that girl, I would have wholeheartedly supported that, except with the part of my heart that felt like I was dying. I don't know. I want what's best for people, but I also have feelings. I think jealousy is a pretty natural feeling. I try not to let it affect how I treat other people. I think that's the right answer to that question. Are relationships ever worth it? Yes. I would say yes. They're not worth some things, but they are worth others. It depends on the relationship, and it depends on the thing. Yes, relationships can be worth it. They can be not worth it. It really depends on the situation. And it's not my decision to decide whether or not your relationships are worth it. It's only my decision to decide whether or not my relationships are worth it. And other people want to decide whether or not my relationship's worth it. And I'm actually loving the people in my life right now who are being really supportive of my choices. And I'm trying to avoid the people in my life who aren't. Like the stupid sub who had no right to weigh in on my relationship at all and yet tried to. And made me feel like crap. And then made me really angry. Anyone you're currently giving up on. I was in the process of giving up on someone, and then I had a breakup, and I texted 6 people, and he was one of them, and he texted back, and no one else did. And he was there for me when I needed it. So I'm not giving up on anyone right now because I have been proved wrong. Currently wanting to see anyone. Am I currently wanting to see? Yes. Many, many people. I want to give Kat a hug, and I want to give Arya a hug, and I want to jump around with Sydney because she's going to Dallas's Comic-Con, and I want it to be spring break so I can see Puffin and just know. But he needs time, and I want him to have time. I just wish that I didn't have to be conscious during that time. I kind of want to go give my mom a hug right now, too. I'll do that when this is over. We're already on, 70. We're already on 80. 79 was that. 80. Name something you have to do tomorrow. Go to school. Hopefully turn in assignments that I do after this. The last person you cried in front of. Sammy and Kayla. They're great people. I mean, everyone else who was in the build room at the time, too, which was around 20 people, but I think most of them were trying to not notice the huddle of crying girls, so. Is there someone you will never forget? There's a lot of people we'll never forget. There's a lot of people who are already out of my life that I haven't forgotten, like, Kenneth Raymanalo, who is one of my best friends, and there's a lot of feelings with him. I mean, I'm never gonna forget a bunch of these people who really helped build who I am, because they're a part of me. Do you think the person you have feelings for is protective of you? I do think he is. I don't know, let me ask him. Okay, we'll continue while we wait for his answer. Is the person you wish to be there with you, if the person you wish to be there with you were with you, this is a really difficult question for me to read. What would you be doing right now? We'd be talking. Because we have things to talk about. And then hopefully we'd be cuddling. Or kissing. Anything but not being together. Because that sucks. He says yes, question mark, because I think the question was kind of out of the blue. And I replied that it is a question on the thingy that I am answering for this video. You can hear my typing, which is why I tried to pause it when I was having conversations with him. Anyways, are you over your past? No. My past made me who I am. There are things I'll never be over because, no, I'm not over my past. I'm over bits of my past, but I'm not over my past. I'm also not physically over my past, unless you think of it as like a chronological spectrum in which I am before my past and I'm above. I'm over my past and I'm below my future. I don't know. Depends on how you look at it. Have you ever liked one of your best, I'm thinking this is going to say best friends. It is. Have you ever liked one of your best friends of the opposite sex? Yes. Yes, I have. I generally like people who are my best friends. I like people I'm friends with. My first boyfriend was my best friend at the time. I had a couple of best friends of the opposite sex at the time, and I liked all of them in that way. Well, I liked both of them in that way, but he was the one who said it first, and so I went on a relationship with him. I went in a relationship with him. I started a nerd-lovey relationship, and everyone was screaming nerd love in the halls, and he and I were in our magical zone of happiness, so we didn't care. My best friend got pissed off because she thought it was an insult, but now I'm a nerd, and I think nerdiness is the best thing ever, so that had no point. I just felt like saying it. Is there anyone you can tell everything to? I feel like we've already had this question. I'm pretty sure I could tell anything to Arya. I could tell a lot of things to a lot of people, but Arya is like the black hole of things I can tell. I can just tell her things and they just get sucked into this void that is Arya on the other side of my internet to them. I just want to jump into this black hole and come out on the other side and there will be Arya. I can tell things to her and she takes them all in and either responds to them or just keeps them, and that's Arya. She's pretty great. I'm answering these for her, so. If your first true love knocked on your door with apology and presents, would you accept fuck? Yes. I mean, I don't know that he has to apologize for much, but yeah, I'd be happy. He says okay, by the way. I don't know if he liked my response, so I'm saying sorry with the question mark. So the last person you kissed happens to arrive on your doorstep at 3 a.m. What do you let them in? Of course I do. I really like him. He says what? Question mark no, with the face. I don't. The colon P face. That sounds weird. Just the face. So I did the face. My faces have sound effects. Yeah, no, if he arrived on my doorstep at 3 a.m., I would be like, what are you doing on my doorstep at 3 a.m.? Get in here out of the cold. How did you get here? But hi. And then I would probably glomp him and then realize that I wasn't supposed to be glomping him. And then possibly let go depending on whether or not he was standing there awkwardly or hugging me back. I can admit that I would like to be hugging him, so. But then I would drag him into a room with lots of lights and warmth and be like, what is going on? Have you ever liked someone who your friends hated? Yes. Sammy hated Puvin. Now she actually really likes him as a person, but she hated him. I'm sure a few people hated Ummer when I started dating him. I don't know. A few of my friends didn't like Madeline when I was dating her. When she was Matt and I was dating her. For all the people who are curious about what that is. That's a really weird thing to think back on. And if Pubin's like, what do you think when you think about this? And I'm like, I think of her as a girl, so I think of her as my ex-girlfriend because she's a girl. But she was identifying as a boy when I dated her. I don't know what that is. That's really confusing. Anyways, I know a couple of my friends didn't like her as much. I don't know. I think you're always going to date people some of your friends don't like, and it's not their life. So they either get over it or they don't. Sorry, that's wrong flippy. This little flippy never goes away and it bothers me. Sorry, I'm used to looking in the mirror and then I have to reach up differently and video's weird. Will you be in a relationship in 2 months? Hopefully. Is there anyone you know with the name Michael? Yes, there is actually. I saw a dude who looked like him yesterday in Science Olympiad and I was like, you're not Michael, but you look like Michael and I want to hug you. So, oh, by the way, he says no sorry. And I say smiley. Okay. Actually, there were 2 giant smileys because he makes me giant smiley. Have you ever kissed a Matthew? I never kissed you, Madeline, did I? Back when you were Matthew and I was dating you? Possibly not. Possibly. I am not entirely certain. I've thought about kissing a Matthew. Now, Madeline. Were you in a relationship in January? Yes. How was it going? Alternately well and poorly, as you can see by the part where we broke up and are now on a break. Were you happy with the person you liked in March? It's March now. I like him. I'm happy when I'm talking to him. I'm unhappy that I'm not dating him. I'm unhappy that he might not want to date me, but I'm happy that he's figuring himself out. It's really confusing. There's a lot of feelings going on here. Presently, I'm happy. Last March I was dating him and I was probably happy. Don't tell me lies. oh, okay, I haven't been telling you lies, but thanks for the assumption that I'm a liar. Is the last person you texted attractive? I last texted Sydney, I believe. Yeah, Sydney's attractive. I, one time I'm pretty sure that I told her that were I unwed, and then I crossed out the unwed and put in a relationship, I would take you in a womanly fashion. It was a Firefly reference. But yeah, no, she was like, does anyone love me, or, am I attractive and dateable? And I was like, yes, you're attractive and dateable. What's wrong with you? This is an hour long? Fuck, Arya, I'm sorry. Anyways, yeah, no, Sydney's attractive. I don't know that I would date her. I mean, I really like being her friend. I don't have those feelings for her. I've never really seen her in real life either. And I'm currently still in love with someone, but she's attractive. Yeah, she's gonna make some person really lucky someday because she's great and I love being around her. Who do you have texts from? A lot of people. A lot of my friends. Not really any random people. My friends and family. If the person you like says they like someone else, what would you say? I would curl up in a corner and cry for a while, as evidenced by Friday, and then I would say, good for you, I wish you lots of happiness. What is she like? Have you ever kissed someone older than you? Yes, actually, I've only ever kissed people older than me, unless you count, like, forehead kissing babies and cheek kissing friends. But if you're talking about monogamous face looking, like, I've only ever monogamously face licked 2 guys. Unless Madeline and I did kiss, and then I kissed one person younger than me. But I'm pretty sure we didn't, and so I've only ever kissed 2 guys, both of whom were older than me. Who is in your profile picture with you? I'm assuming you mean Facebook, and that would mean Sammy is. It used to be Anna until last night when Sammy and I were taking lots of Science Bros pictures, and I really liked them. Have you ever kissed under fireworks? Yes. Because Kat and I had this giant thing about it, and she was like, Puvin, you must kiss Jenny under fireworks, because it was going to make me happy. And then he and I kissed under fireworks. Has anybody ever given you butterflies frequently? They're not really like butterflies, they're like things trying to kill you from the inside. But yeah, I've gotten those. Okay, I'm gonna stop now because this video is almost an hour long. I'm so sorry, Arya, I love you. Bye.